Let's go. Let's go. DC20, let's go. General Mineral starting it off right. Let's go. And we are fully hydrated today, people. Huh. Let's go. And it's funny. We already have a super chat starting things off from Liam. Which I believe that's Liam, L300. The icon looks like Liam. My fellow DC20 community, it has been a journey. Sadly, Liam did not get elected as GM assistant, but it was a fun campaign. To all those who showed support, I love you. I'd like to give my congratulations though to made it into round 2 and wish the winner well. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, dude. Oh man, that's funny, Liam. That's funny, Liam. Your campaign was a joy and a wonder to witness. So yes, the GM assistant application was crazy. Over 100 people it was crazy. So yeah, that's been wild. I'll probably give y'all more updates on that next week. But heck yeah, it's been awesome. I've been blown away for the amount of talented people who are interested in DC20 and who care about it that much. Crazy. And also for the live stream, before we're already getting hit with 3 super chats right out the gate, right? I am going to show y'all a little cool sneak peek of spells. A little sneak peek of some, I believe it's the weather category of spells. Show y'all some stuff going on here. Yellow Ninja, I see you. And sneak peek spell duels, Junior. Yep. Project Roleplay. What is the GM assistant thing? Oh, that's I'll explain that next week. In all its entirety, right? We have 2 more super chats. This live stream, by the way, is a Q&A live stream. So I'll go ahead and get it started now, like usual. Q&A live stream. I'm gonna do this little showcase of spells here once I get caught up with these 2 super chats, and then we're gonna open up into a Q&A. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask your question. Hashtag question. Big. I don't actually. Oh no. Yeah, my mods are here. We're good. Big old hashtag all caps question. Ask your question. Mods will pick it up, and I was super efficient last week, y'all. I was so efficient last week. I've been working on it. Balancing the amount that I answer the questions super thoroughly, and like going through them quickly enough as far as time spent per question. But I'm wasting time talking about that. So here we go. Liam with another super chat. I also have a message for Coach in the form of an ominous threat. With all the sneak peeks I'm about to get out of you, you're going to wish you had me under an NDA. That's literally what I messaged Liam when I told. I was like, dude, I feel like you shouldn't be, because you are the best at getting sneak peeks for the community. If the community had you under an NDA, you'd be locked up, man. You couldn't say nothing. That's funny. And Simon, thank you for the super chat. Running 5 sessions of DC20 at local convention this weekend. 2 of the hunted, 3 of the level homebrew, 4 own design. Let's go. Excited to introduce, indoctrinate. That's a better word than introduce. Indoctrinate. Newbies, the DC20. Simon. Love that. The community's grown because of you, my friend. That's awesome. Cool. So the one thing I do want to showcase here, a little something here, is I believe it's this one. Nope, not this one. It's this one. There we go. So this is a cool little sneak peek into. I guess I could show this first. This is probably what you want to see first. Big picture. We really have been working on. There's been a lot of work going on here as far as the spells. We talked about this a little bit in the patron live stream. Every Wednesday morning I do a patron live stream, and that's where we're going to do this next little part here. And I'm going to showcase what that kind of looks like. But I have skipped over damaging spells, although lots of work and talks are going on about that. We have a team meeting tomorrow about a lot of stuff there. Once we as a team get on the same page with the design goals there, we're gonna do more of that, right? So I've skipped over that for now and gone on to the environmental. I'm gonna keep on hammering through here, but to show y'all some of the stuff of what this weather thing looks like, check this out. Here is can y'all see? Okay, yep. Yeah, y'all can see it. So basically, this is a good example of some of the like brainstorming, puzzle piecing stuff. Jeff Chambers, thank you for the 10 Gunja Coach memberships. Thank you, dude. Let's go. This is, I'm not going to do the prep for it right now. I'm saving this exact thing for the Patreon only live stream tomorrow. But I'm going to hash this out of like, okay, there's weather spells. If I took every type of weather spell concept, broke them into categories. This is what you see over here. Types of things that weathery type spells can do. Cool. 5th edition's version of that and like a progression of it. Cool. This was my best bet at segregating them into different categories of flavor to have different spells for it. Maybe something like these 3 gets combined together, but I think an acid rain spell would be pretty cool. I think a fog, like straight up fog, obviously is pretty cool. And then sunlight. I think it would be cool to have some sort of sunlight situation going on, right? So there's that. And then that's what's going to be kind of going through here. So you'd be like, here's the example. Obscure sound. This would not do that. This would do that. This might do that. I guess I'd put a question mark there. Cold could do that, like a blizzard type. Acid would not, and fog would not. There you go. That's the example, right? And then we go through that with all of these, and then we can make spells from them anyway, right? So that is an insight into what's going down tomorrow morning. So there we go. So now let's get to some questions, people. Oh, Curly Bolt. Thank you, Curly Bolt, for the 10 gifted memberships. Let's go. Curly Bolt also applied for the gym. There's so many awesome people in this community. The late fee. There you go, Curly Bolt. Thank you. If 175 people paid late, there's no late fees. If any of you are new, there's no such thing as late fees. I did not come up with this. My own community came up with them themselves. So, Zack, let's go. I will have to post 2 updates to the stream chat story because I will be gone next week prepping for my, let's see if you can guess. I won't tell you if you're wrong, but I will tell you if you're right. Prepping for my new campaign that you're starting that we talked about a few weeks ago. And actually, hold up. Let me see. Next week, I will not, thank you for reminding me that, Zack. I will not be here next week as well. I will be in Michigan with Bardic Aggravation. If y'all do not know, this might be an announcement for some of y'all, but I am going to be Bardic Aggravation, the YouTube channel that makes mostly DC20 content, is flying me out to Michigan. Crazy in the crazy. They're flying me out to Michigan and putting me up in a Airbnb for me and my whole family to come out there, and I'm going to come there and play in a mini campaign with them as a player. I am playing. I'm gonna wait. I think is Bardic Aggravation here in the chat. Bardic Aggravation. Can I reveal what my class is, or should I wait? And if the answer to that is yes, or maybe no, can I reveal my character class art? So I want the 2 questions to Bardic Aggravation if they're here. Do it. Wheeler says do it. Now, do it for do it for the class reveal or do it for the art reveal. Which one? Those are my 2 questions. All right, there we go. I'm gonna wait to see Wheeler. Both. All right. We're gonna show both. Okay. So we're gonna. All right. So my main man artist Zack has been doing all the character art. I'm not going to show all the character art, but I will show my character art. It's not finished. It's not finalized, right? But let's see. I'm going to be big screen. Okay, and then. All right. So this is my character. It's not finished. This is not the final piece of art. But this is going to be my character that I'm going to be playing as. Yeah, there we go. Y'all get 1 guess as to what my class is. You get 1 guess as to what my class is with this guy. We are circus performers. Victor Snyder, Amalray, Sniff Test, 666 Dak. I am a druid. I am a might-based druid tank, people. Oh yeah! It's gonna be so sick. I have the whole build worked up for it. I have resources I've made for like min-maxing wild forms and stuff. We're doing a level 3 play test. I am a druid class. I took a dip into Spellblade, I believe, for my talent, and I took the martial path progression. I have 1 stamina point. I did some other finagling. I'm going to be wearing heavy tank boy. I'm super slow. Super mighty, super tanky. But my level 3, I am going to be a Paragon Druid, and I'm going to do the wild form progression situation to where my wild form at the beginning of my turn, I can shift into any form I want for free. And when combat starts, I'm going to shift into my cheetah form, run into where I want to be, shift into my human form or maybe another animal form. And if I get low on health, I can shape shift into some other animal. It's going to be sick. It's going to be so sick. So yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. There we go, and we're back. Okay, thanks for letting me showcase that there. Oh man. And my name is Brutov Krushkin. I am a druid. I do the shape shifting. I invent the circus strongman, and maybe I do some other things that you need not know of. No worries. So yes, I will do a little bit of Russian, and one of the players at the table also is Russian, so that'll be fun to have that. But maybe her speaking Russian will help me with my own accent and help me like channel it even better. So anyway, that'll be fun. That'll be super fun. Fun times, good to have. That's going to be next week, so stay tuned for that. I'll keep y'all posted. Will there be a Minotaur race? No, I am a fire giant born and a halfling mixed together. Check that out. And then there we go. So let me get back to the super chats. And then we'll keep it rolling. There we go. I got sidetracked with that. So roll with us DMs. When you're at negative HP, if someone uses healing, do you heal from 0 or do you have to heal through your negative HP off that? So absolutely. Your health is at the number it's at, right? There's no sort of magical buffer like your health's at technically at 0, but then you enter the separate health bar of negative hip. No, like you have one health bar, and if it goes into the negatives, it's in the negatives. And if you're at -3 and you heal for 2, you're at -1. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to heal through the negatives as far as how you've described that. Yes, correct. Roll with DMs. And I love me some rule clarification questions. Thanks, bro. Project Roleplay had a baby in April. Oh my gosh, congrats, dude. I've missed a lot, including 0.9.5, so I'm behind. What's your favorite update that happened since then and why? Let's go. Tabletop Phoenix. Oh, Project Roleplay, Tabletop Phoenix. I see you, bro. Let's see, 0.9.5. Oh my gosh. You know what's so funny? This question is so hard for me to answer. I'm going to give the answer of the defense system. That's going to be my answer to that. But the reason why it's such a hard question to answer is my brain is operating in 0.10. I play my campaign every week in 0.10. I'm building the game off 0.10. We're building spells off 0.10. Everything in my mind is 0.10. And 0.10 has so many quality of life improvements. There's things where I'm like, actually, what's going on? So whenever I play with Bardic Aggravation, I'm going to be like, actually, what's the rule on that right now? So that's going to be funny because I might just like sneak peek what I think I'm playing correctly will actually be a sneak peek of what is 0.10. So that's going to be funny. But there you go. The defense system. Heck yeah. And then Anthony Diaz, will they be a Minotaur race? Will they be a Minotaur? No. In the core, I don't know if you're asking me for my own character or for the core rules. Core rules will not have Minotaurs. Expansion absolutely will have Minotaurs, and we're going to be trying to push for large and tiny characters and see how that whole thing goes. But yeah, there's that. And then Zagard, stepping into the Great Web. Oh, we're back to the super sick Great Web. After we meet a Glimmerfang leader surrounded by shining glittering preserved bodies of some of the world's greatest leaders. That is a trophy right there. That's so cool. Zagard, honestly, my players are about to head towards like a bug infested cave with some spiders. I'm probably going to use some Glimmerfangs or something. I'm gonna probably use some cool spider inspiration. I don't know if I'd use Glimmerfangs because that might not progressed the plot towards the direction I have. I think that would be like a distracting side thing. But the concept of these super sick spiders, I'm absolutely going to be running with some spider inspiration from you. So heck yeah. The 3 leaders are Balak the Zack, the Fang Bearer, Valthim Echo Warden, the Grossum Crown, and Stymark Tisweaver, the Glimmering Wisps, or of Gleaming Whispers. Epic names, bro. Epic names. Thank you, Zagard. And then Liam, 0.11, Wish. Bard, they can use music to summon weapons. K-pop hunter subclass. Oh my god. Oh my god. You absolutely could make Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. You could make any of them. You could absolutely make a K-pop Demon Hunter like Spellblade meets Bard. Oh my god, let's go. That's so funny. Love me some K-pop Demon Hunters. That's funny. All right, let's go. All right, so to the chat now. I am caught up with super chats, diving into the chats. If that's what that's called. September today, where are we at from before? 9299. All right, cool. Dustbreaker, props to Dustbreaker. Couldn't do it without you, buddy. Let's go. Hamza Asif. Question: what will the relationship of DC20 and soloness? What will the relationship of DC20 and soloness? Will there be any solo modules or way to play it solo? That's something that I've been asked before, and I am interested in trying to support that. I think that's very interesting. I'm going to look into that, absolutely. The core rules as of the game, I mean, the core rules as far as what we're making right now, it for sure supports it just as well as D&D and Pathfinder and other things do. In some ways, I think it can support it better in lots of ways, because a lot of stuff can be put up to fate rolls progressing the game as a solo player. You can make fate rolls to be like a pseudo GM type situation, like make a fate roll and there's a branching path of what happens. Like, I think that's going to be, it already is going to yield itself all easily into doing that. So heck yeah. And then Zagard, use whatever I give in these chats. This goes to anyone who reads this. Also, what I'm doing next week is I am getting, the suspense in Zagard's. Zagard's like the biggest suspense builder of anyone. That's so funny. And then Peter Terry, any changes in how leveling will be in the latest edition? Leveling, yes. The leveling chart is getting updated as far as when you get certain talents, path progression points. Some of those things are changing, yes. I don't have the chart in front of me right now, but basically, long story short, right now your path progression, if you're not familiar, at levels 2, 4, 7, and 10, you get a path progression, and it lets you be able to choose martial or spellcaster, and you get like mana and spells or maneuvers and whatever. Right now, it works in this weird every other situation. If you look at the table in 0.9.5, you get a mana point in spells, and then you get only spells, and then you get a mana point in spells, and then you get only, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this every other situation. And then for stamina, you get stamina, and then you don't get stamina, and then you get stamina, and you don't get stamina. That's not right, and that leads to some weird min-maxing that I have found myself as a player. Like, oh, well, if we're only playing up to this level, I'll do one here and one there. That's the most amount of, you know. So in the future, 0.10, every time you take that, you'll get a stamina or mana every single time. So it'll be stamina, mana, spell, maneuver every single time, right? So that's gonna be fixed, and that's gonna then ripple into what you actually get in your level ups as well. So heck yeah. Wait, so are there no streams next week, Coach? Correct, no streams next week. I will not be here. I will be gone doing the Bardic Aggravation filming. So heck yeah. So there you go, Peter Terry. Swordplay and sorcery. Let's go, bro. Love what you and your team are accomplishing. Stay creative and keep up the great work. Brother, Swordplay and Sorcery, a familiar friend, familiar face. Let's go, man. Let's go. Swordplay and Sorcery has a ton of live streams where he takes 5e monsters and converts them into DC20. And I've come and crashed some of those streams before, so that's super cool. Let's go. Good to see you, brother, for real. And then Robert McCutcheon. Robert McCutcheon just super chats $27 and doesn't even say anything. Robert, do at me or something if you have a question. If you accidentally sent that, thank you, dude. Thank you, Robert. Let's go. Yeah, see, Project Roleplay says Sword Plane Sorcery is freaking awesome. I love his content. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, saddle up, saddle up. Liam, how do you avoid not eating up design space for Summoner Elementalists when creating elemental and summoning spells before those classes are done? Liam. Amazing question. This is why, and I've said this before, so I'm not going to elaborate on it too much. I am going to make sure that every single of the 20 classes in DC20, all 20 of them will be done and finished before we release the game. So the Elementalist and Summoner will exist before we release the game. That's going to protect them from all of that, right? I'm not worried about the Elementalist, really. The Elementalist and making like elemental spells, I'm not worried about that at all. That would be like me being worried about making charm spells and then making a bard or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too worried about the Elementalist. They're going to be special in so many ways, right? And then I just saw a super chat. I'm going to focus real quick. So elemental, I think is going to be fine, especially with some of the things I already have in mind for that. The Summoner specifically is absolutely going to be, we're going to make the summoning spells stop, and we're going to do some summoner class stuff, get on the same page, and then go forward with the summoning spells. And the best thing, though, let's say we don't even think about we don't even think about the Summoner Elementalist, even though that's not true because they already kind of exist in some ways. And we made all the spells. Cool. Send all the spells. 0.10 out. Done. Moving on. Make other parts of the game. We make the Summoner Elementalist, and we're like, wait a second, man. We need to make them like this. That means that ripple effects would change the spells. We can do that. We can go change the spells because the game's not done yet. There's a lot of really nice benefits of the game not being done yet. I know there's lots of other negatives about the game being done yet, but I think this is all the journey, all part of the journey. So I see Dan has a super chat. How does the stream health bar work? You just died. So if you see, and there we go, and actually just leveled up. So it's a health bar, and the boss becomes, once every super chat gets donated to the health bar, and it gets down. Every super chat is like 10 times or 100 times the amount of super chat dollars is how much damage you could deal, and whoever lands the killing blow becomes the next boss. So Zaggard is the next boss. So if anybody wants to slay Zaggard, you could deal some damage. That's funny, Dan. And then Kira, wouldn't acid make a sizzling sound? Oh, you're talking about from the spell thing. Yes, I agree. Acid would make a sizzling sound, but I don't think the sizzling sound would be enough to demonstrate that mechanically so that the fantasy of the spell is accomplished. That was a really complex phrasing there, but that's like game design type speak of acid rain and getting the feel of that, casting that spell, and acid's pouring. Of course there'd be a sizzle. I agree 100%. I don't think it would be like a deafening sizzle to the point where you're like, what? You can't, what is that? You can't hear, hey, you can't hear sounds or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I agree, but I don't think it's a mechanical pillar of getting that fantasy across, if that makes sense. I think I phrased it better the second time around. There you go. Paul Underhill, what has been the toughest game mechanic or mechanics to get to work 100% the way you want it or expect it to? I'm gonna have two answers to this, and I won't be able to answer them fully. But the defense system was the biggest overhaul, and that one was probably the biggest biggest change and the biggest shake up, right? To make sure that it's right, and then see, play test it out and play test the crap out of 0 to 9 to 5 and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was a heavy load to carry on that one. And just still kind of evaluating it, feeling it out, all that kind of stuff. And then the other one is action points out of combat. Action points out of combat. I know exactly how it works. I could describe it to you. I could coach someone up on it, but in general, when combat starts, you have 4 action points, blah, 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 blah. Out of combat, you don't just have 4 action points. I don't even think in terms of action points. You know what I'm saying? Like things, you just take actions, like an action. Just like in D&D, you take an action to cast a spell, you cast a spell. I don't care if it's 2 action points or 1 action point or whatever. Your action point enhanced. No. You are just doing stuff. If I need to slow things down and slow things down and simulate combat in some way, I'll be like, all right, you have 4 action points and you can do 4 action points worth of thing. So if you're like crouched outside and you're about to shoot a firebolt and no one's looking and you're going to shoot a firebolt, sure, I'll slow the game down. Now we're talking 4 action points. I'm going to spend 2 action points to do this and pump 1 action point into it and I give myself advantage or something, right? Sure. If it were distorting a combat, right? But you're not going to be able to be like, oh, I cast a spell and I spend action points to give myself advantage on spell. Oh, gosh, right? That's been the most frustrating part of it's either people's interpretation of the rules or like people trying to get advantages, which would just break the game of just, oh, I just have triple advantage on everything I do outside of combat. So that's been the part that we're trying to like dial in to be very clear with how it works. So people don't get too focused on action points, right? Action points are only to bullet time, slow things down. Everything else, you're just doing an action. If you want to measure it, then there you go. You can measure it if you want to slow it down with action points. Other than that, just walk around, do stuff, make checks. It's going to be, that's it, right? So there you go. And then, man, we're getting so many super chats right now. I read one chat from the chat or question from the chat, and then y'all just love that question though, Paul. Love that question though. Ooh, what? Hydration check. Osen Henley, Osen Heaney, first ever super chat. Thank you, Osen. Oisen. Thank you, Oisen. How will the remaining class be split between martial, spellcaster, and hybrid? So off the top of my head, so we have the 13 classes in the core rules, and then we have Scion, which is a hybrid class. We have, so that's 13, 14. So 14, 15 is Artificer, which is a spellcaster. It's a spellcaster that has a unique mana component that actually shunts their mana down. And whenever they make infusions, they get less maximum mana. So like their maximum MP goes down per every infusion they have. So that's a really, I think, creative solution for Artificers to be super cool. Artificers also, by the way, are done. The Artificer levels 1 and 2 and 3. So level subclasses and Paragons, all that's done now. We're putting the finishing touches on it in the meeting tomorrow. And that's going to be next month's magazine, DC20 magazine. So excited for that. Anyway, so that's 15 classes. Elementalist is a spellcaster for sure. Shaman is a spellcaster for sure. Shapeshifter is a martial for sure. They are not a spellcaster. That's druid. They are not a druid. They shift their form. Their body changes. Shapeshifter. And then, oh my gosh, Summoner is on the teetering. Summoner's teetering of either being a hybrid or a spellcaster. Hybrid, their spell casting would go towards casting spells, obviously, summoning creatures, buffing creatures, and then their stamina points might be spent towards their monsters, their summons attacking. So there's that. And then the final class is the Beastmaster / Tamer class, and that's probably going to be a martial. It's going to be a martial that has some cool rituals they cast, because rituals in DC20 are not magic gated. Anyone can learn rituals. Some rituals require magic, but there's lots of rituals that people can do. That's a whole other story there. But the Beastmaster is going to be a martial that can use rituals and nature-based animal type rituals to be able to bond with, summon, etc. Their specific one beast that they are taming. So there's that. There you go. Heck yeah. And then, oh my gosh, what just happened? There's the chat's full. I can't keep up. So thank you for that, Oisin. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Zagard, with $100 super chat. What the heck is this? What's going on? I love DC20, dude. DC20 loves you too, man. Oh my goodness. I fell behind on my main in-person campaign. 1, been planning with my partner since January. So much to do for the next week. 2, we had our session earlier than usual. 3, players went into a spot with 2 dungeons and had to prep in 5 days, still not done. Yeah, I just had a curveball. I fully prepped out where I swore my players were going to go. And then I shit you not. The session starts with like, you know what? Remember that group of mercenaries we had that went missing? Let's go look for them. I was like, you both everyone's known they've been missing and no one's caring it. Now you care? Crazy. So they went in a totally different direction. So now I'm double prepping as well. So I feel you there, Zack. That's funny. Ziggy Boy, what's up, Ziggy Boy? Hey, coach, just donating some money to the Gravity Spell Fund. Love what you're doing. Okay, let me add that to the Gravity Spell Fund. Gravity spells. You've now added 1 gravity spell to to DC20. Thanks, dude. That's funny, Ziggy. Afari Noxa, Stoke. Oh man, bringing back the Stoke. Thanks for that. Stoke. It's the new version of hype. It's our version of hype. Stoke. Oh, Stoke. I love that. Thank you, Farnox, for bringing that back. And then Felix, Force and Fortuna. Is there going to be enhancement spells that you can use outside of combat? Mind control spells that last 30 days, like Gaius, for example. Yeah. So you absolutely, like, you can enhance spells. Like, you can spend extra mana on spells outside of combat, inside of combat. That doesn't matter. The whole action point thing I was talking about is dealing with the resource of action points. I literally don't even think about action points outside of combat. I do think about mana and casting spells and enhancing spells and all that stuff. Absolutely. So yeah. You're for sure going to be able to do some wild stuff like that. And I think there's going to also be things like rituals and like continuous casting type mechanics where you can like permanently do cool things and stuff like that in the world. So yes, absolutely. And there's gonna be a lot of like role play spells and like world building type spells. So yes, absolutely, Felix. Heck yeah. And then Brandon, the game master of the one shot I'm gonna be, or the mini campaign I'm gonna be playing in, 50 gifted memberships. Thank you, Brandon. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. Give me that artificer. And Liam, idea for the monster manual. Monsters like animated objects, dragons, elemental, or chimeras should have a basic stat block and a workshop beside them. We can build a custom. Absolutely. I think that's, we're going to have templates. We're going to have draconic templates. We're going to have like ooze templates, undead templates that you can like add onto things. So if you have like a, cultist and you want to be draconic cultist, undead cultist, like you can do, like you can add on templates to things to be able to have the little custom situations there. I also have another idea of having all the templates and then having features, kind of like ancestries, and there'll be like a box of features and there'll just be a list of little features like that. So yes, absolutely, Liam. Love that, and we're already synced up as usual, bro. Zagard, same thing happened to me. Players nearly went off the track and I prepped 2 dungeons. Luckily, time in world event made both players the other path too far, so they missed it. Saved by the clock. You're telling me, man. Whew. That's awesome. And then Onyx Studios, 50 gifted memberships. Onyx strikes again, man. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Onyx Studios. I was literally just talking to you today. That's crazy. Awesome. Nice. Okay, cool. Now, back to the chats over here. So we have that one. Gotcha from Hamza. Then Sniff Test. Great name. Question: any chances for markdown versions of rules/adventures? These would be absent of pictures. I'd love to toss it into Obsidian. Markdown files for PDFs. Oh, that's interesting. That's the type of reward. Now, I am not saying I'm going to do this. I'm just saying this is the first time I've ever even thought of something like this. I'm also barely familiar with Obsidian, only because of some talks I've been having with some people recently. So I think that would probably be like it sounds like a patron type reward, or a alternate version. I don't know. Or like if you buy the PDF, it also comes with that, or something like that. It'd be one of those 3 options. You know what I'm saying? So markdown files. I've never seen requests for that before. And then now people in the chat, Paul and Nick, are saying they also want it too. So yeah, I will. I'll make a note of markdown files, and I'll kind of get a little pulse check on that and look into that. Because yeah, I mean, if it's something easy to do, and you can figure out a way to do it, and if it's wildly beneficial for y'all, then Heck yeah. So thank you Sniff Test for putting that on my radar. Heck yeah. And then Jake the Beast. Has your favorite class and mechanic changed since I last asked you? Class and mechanic changed. Oh man, favorite class. I don't know. I really have loved me some Druid going into doing all this wild form stuff. That's been fun. Artificer will be super fun. So I do like the more crunchy and advanced classes. In DC20, Druid and Artificer will be the top most advanced classes as far as like complexity goes. And I do purposely want to have more advanced classes, more easy classes as far as mechanical density, right? But I still would say Sorcerer, Wild Magic Sorcerer still is going to be my... if Wild Magic Sorcerer was my favorite class from 5th edition, it's probably also going to be my favorite in DC20, especially since I'm the one making it. I'm probably going to have some bias towards like making cool, like Overload as a concept of like, heck yeah. Feels like some Dragon Ball Z vibes there too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. There you go, Jake. Good questions. And bottled no. Question: do you have any unique classes not seen in D&D or Pathfinder that you can share any information on? No. Sorry, your name is Bottled No. So I just wanted, I just had to, or I should have been like, no, because I bottled up. No. Okay, sorry. Not sure if you answered this one before or not, so sorry if I already did. I kind of just talked about that. I just talked about those other classes. So in comparing D&D and Pathfinder, I'm not as familiar with Pathfinder, but Spellblade is like a better version of Paladin that you also could accomplish the Paladin class fantasy with. So I think that the DC20's version of Spellblade is what I think that class should be, and the Paladin is the subclass of, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother rant though. Commander is another unique one. Elementalist, Shaman, Summoner, Beast Tamer, and Scions in some other things. And Artificers obviously in the other things. And all the other ones I listed. So Shifter, Summoner, Shifter, Elementalist, Shaman, and what the heck? Shaman, Elementalist, Shifter, Summoner, Beast Tamer. Okay. I keep combining Summoner and Beast Tamer, I think. So there you go. So there'll be lots of unique stuff. And then, let me get caught up on super chats. Wait a second. So then, Liam, does DC20 have a wish spell? If so, what improvements have been made over its 5e version? So, Liam, I think you know better than to ask that now. But in general, I want to have some type of spell that is wish adjacent. But that spell will not be in 0.10. Because the wish spell is like max level game type stuff. And the spells that we release for 0.10, we aren't going to be thinking into levels past 10. You know what I'm saying? So like in the 0.10 spells, when we release like 100 plus spells, we're not going to have spell enhancement, all of the spell enhancements done, if that makes sense. And we aren't going to have like the big boy spells that you're going to need to be level 10 and beyond to be able to cast. We're not going to spend the time making those yet. We're going to outline them, but we're not going to slow down the release of 0.10 to then make those. You know what I'm saying? So I would say wait longer to see that wish spell, but I do want there to be something like that. Yes. So that like the genie fantasy and all that kind of stuff can tap into it easily. Yes. So that will be in the core rules. There you go. Hidden. Coach, we really love DC20 and me and my group are currently on our 5th session. Let's go. Keep it coming. Can't wait for summer. Also, here's my 30-minute late fee. 30-minute late fee. Hidden. I didn't even know you were late because you were so hidden. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, Vapor Light. Whoa, it rolled past me. Remind me again on Shaman class update. Shaman class, the best example I can give you for where my head is at on the Shaman vibe is from World of Warcraft Shaman. Totems will be a thing where you put totems on the ground and they have an aura around them and they stay on the ground and you summon them. You'll have different types of elements and spirits that you can like tap into. So you'll have like elemental type totems, spirit type totems, potentially animal type totems. And that's going to be the kind of vibe for the class. So there's that. And then look at like World of Warcraft Shamans are going to be kind of, if I had to pick an inspiration source, but conceptually, there you go. Aegis Virium, nothing ruins hours of GM prep, like the players' interaction during a session, and we love it. Some of my most exciting sessions I've run come because of curveballs my players have thrown at me. Yeah, the whole like 2/3 of the back half of the session, I was just improv and just pulling stuff out. Like, okay, there we go. Oh wow, that's crazy. Oh yep. Okay, yep. So yeah, I was in the zone, baby. I was feeling alive. So I agree with you. I wouldn't have changed it. I love it. That's why that's part of the job I love. You know, that's the like almost like an adrenaline rush in some ways. Heck yeah. And then Coach, when Sneaky Peek Summoner and Beastmaster, please. Thank you for the please. I'm working with my kids right now on the please, so that really speaks to me right there, Kyle. Thank you. But Summoner will be sooner rather than later. Artificer's done and releases in a magazine officially in 20 days. So that's awesome. Summoner will be months after that, but the Summoner will be the next one. Summoner is the next one on the docket, just for the record, if I hadn't said that already. Summoner is going to be the one coming out next in the future. Don't get it twisted. Afari Noxa, spell idea, box that whenever speech or verbal spells are used on it, sound gets reflected back and it does sonic damage to a target. Sound still goes out, but the target takes damage. Sound still goes out. A box that spells into it, sounds reflected back into sonic damage to target. Yeah, I absolutely want there to be like sound-based spells. But Afari Noxa, I will say, there is no longer sonic damage in DC20. Sonic damage type is being removed. That's a whole nother explanation situation. Sonic damage will either be iterated as true damage in some ways, depending on like if it's internal, if it's like inside your body, or if it's like a vibration pulse of like that's going to be like a bludgeoning, like impact type damage, like concussive force type damage. So yeah, sonic damage is no longer in the game, but we absolutely are going to still have sonic type spells like what you're saying. So that type spell is actually in some ways easier to put into the game than before. So yeah, the Fire Nox, that's already, I would say, yes, I agree. Lord Barrington, good evening, my good coach. I see, I knew you were going to talk like that, so I already put the accent. We're synced up, bro. Have you or would you ever consider teaming up with a miniature designer and releasing any DC20 minis down the road? Lord Barrington? Why, yes. I have partially already done this in some ways. I have 2 different miniature people that I have on my retainer that I will be reaching out to be making miniatures for the next Kickstarter. So yes, if you are one of those, Lord Barrington, then you must send me an email and I will add you into that plethora. I'll add you into that retainer. I don't know what word I'm looking for like an old-timey type word for this very modern type of thing. But yes, heck yeah, Lord Barrington. Do you do miniatures? But yeah, I want there to be miniatures in the next Kickstarter. Yeah. Project Roleplay. What about a DC20 version of a deck of many things? I love chaos. Yes, the deck of many things DC20 will be in the next Kickstarter as well. The full blown like advanced gameplay guide. The advanced gameplay guide probably would have the deck of many things is where I think that would go, or a separate little product that actually is a deck of many things, like literally a deck of cards. I would love that so much. Oh my god. So heck yeah, Project that yeah. I want to call you Tabletop Phoenix still. I feel weird calling you Project Roleplay now. Anthony, also my Necromancer and Death Knight update. Hydration check. Necromancer is Summoner, and Death Knight is subclass of Spellblade / subclass of Commander. So you're gonna be taken care of absolutely, but not yet. Not yet. I can almost guarantee though that the Necromancer will be one of the 2 subclasses released in the early version of the Summoner. Necromancer probably is just automatically going to be one of those. So there you go. Samir, what's up, Samir? When do you think the 3rd subclass for each class will be ready? 3rd subclass. Oh, that's a good question. I think the priority on that is low. Because the priority on that is low because I want to progress the actual full game. And if I take the amount of time it would take to go back and make another 13 different subclasses compared to releasing level 5, I'm going to choose releasing level 5. If I have to choose between progressing the subclasses to level 6 or doing the other 13, I'm going to choose to progress the subclasses to level 6. So I'm probably thinking that the 3rd subclasses will be probably a dot 14 type situation, dot 14. And if you have seen other things where I've talked about the different versions of when that's coming, that'll make more sense. But it's going to be one of the later things, and I think that's just what's best for the community. Giving more options at level 3, I don't think is going to be as useful compared to let's expand the game of DC20 and let people be able to play high levels, because I think we've already done such a good job, not trying to toot our own horns or anything, but we've already done such a good job giving options at level 3, having 2 subclass options and 2 Paragon options. That's technically 4 subclasses, technically. Excuse me. I think that is a big box checked, and that's why it's deprioritized for the future, but they absolutely will be released. So there's that, Samir. Yeah. And then Jason Fisher, love DC20. Keep up the great work. Coach and team, long reign the Penguins. Stoke. Thank you, Jason. I love the peaky Jason. He's peaky. Is he peaking? What's up, Jason? I appreciate that, dude. And the Penguin hype. Heck yeah. Thanks, man. It just still hits me whenever people are just like, thanks for doing what you're doing. It's crazy. That's just crazy that's the people that love DC20. That's the community that we've built here. That's freaking awesome. Thank you, man. Lunar Vandross. Hi, coach. You are a great looking guy. Oh, I'm gonna blush. I literally was about to trim up and shave before the stream. I was like, I'm looking a little rough around the edges right now, but so I appreciate that, Lunar. The skills look so complex on the character sheet. Any possible changes incoming? Skills looking complex on the character sheet. Hold on. Skills looking complex on the character sheet. Let's see here. So ultimately, I think this is the character sheet right here. There's the skills, right? So I got bubbles, and I got skills and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I think that's the first time I've heard that feedback. It was so nicely said. So thank you for that, Lunar. But that's interesting. And on that note, Demiplane is working on this as well. So I'm going to be doing some UX UI, like visual interface, looking at skills and how I'm doing that with Demiplane. And after that, I will see where that goes. But that's now also been put on my radar, Lunar. Thank you for that. And thank you for the compliment. Appreciate you, dude. Damon Evans, generic subclasses, please. Damon. Generic subclasses, please. Oh, this is interesting. I watched a YouTube video on DC20, and it was like breaking down DC20 and like critiquing it. And I love these videos. And they're always made with so much love. And it's usually from people that do like DC20, and they're like giving an honest critique, right? One of the critiques from a DC20 content creator, one of them said, I have a gripe about barbarian subclasses are just too magical. Why are they so magical? I want more of like a, down the road, like a true barbarian subclass. And then Damon saying a generic subclass. That's Paragon. You know what I'm saying? That's the literal point of Paragon, right? That's exactly what that's for. Doing Paragon is your barbarian subclasses. Anything, if you were to like straight up convert 5e into anything that's just vanilla barbarian down the middle, like martial, like barbarian, a true barbarian's barbarian, like a rager, or what's it called? Berserker in DC, I don't know, in D&D. That's a Paragon, and that's exactly what we've done with the Paragon classes, and there'll be more Paragon talents, right? So those are like super taken care of, you know what I'm saying? Damon's talking about generic subclasses for anyone to take. I see. Matthew Demps, I think it might have been your video. That icon looks familiar. But yeah, so I guess, so that's 2 different things now. The elemental barbarian subclasses being so coded to fantasy, magic, and wild, that's the cool part of having Paragon subclasses. Because if you want to be a true barbarian that doesn't have magic, be a Paragon. You have so many options. You have just as many options, right? And then if you want to be magical, go be magical. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best solution, right? Zachary, what? Zachary? You have wait, Zachary? I skipped Zachary's question. What are you talking about, Zachary? I'm scrolling through the super chats. I do not see you, Zachary. You're making me feel bad, Zachary. Unless you ask the question. I don't see it, Zachary. I'm gonna have to look for it now. I feel bad. But now, so for Damon's actual question, There are plans to have Paragon subclasses. Actually, it wouldn't be Paragon subclasses. We do have plans to have a type of general talents that you would be able to do, and give an option of a generic or a general Paragon, and be able to take a certain set of classless options, right? So that would be an option, right? Like a shadow example. There's right now the one we currently have that we are going to be playtesting with first is shadow, and like, who wants to be shadowy? You know what I'm saying? Shadow monk, shadow rogue, shadow hunter, shadow whatever, right? So many shadow sorcerer, whatever. So there's going to be a shadow, and you can just take that. So that is actually planned and slated for right now, Damon. So that is, there we go. There we go. Vapor Light, how would you solve the issue of high-level DC20s that plagues 5e, where characters past level 13 are basically gods while still retaining high fantasy? Yeah, that's going to be a design challenge there for sure, and it's going to be something that I think DC20 has enough bells and whistles and knobs and levers. Yeah, there we go. I almost said lobs and nevers. Enough knobs and levers to be able to change. I also think simply just the way that I have structured this is one of the original pillars of DC20. 20 levels, cut it in half. Your class is 1 through 10. Paragon or prestige is 11 through 20. Just us doing that alone is going to make things so much easier. It's going to make that exact problem so much easier to solve, because we're already have restructured the way in which I think it should be. I could go on a whole rant of how ridiculous I think it is for D&D and Pathfinder to go to level 20. I think it's ridiculous from a game design perspective. Anyway, so I think that's going to help us out a lot. And how we have mana points instead of spells, lots of stuff like that's already just going to be a lot better. And I also want to have world building in mind with spells, so that they don't just become gods and then they teleport all over the place and do all these types of crazy things, right? So there we go. Let's go. Pete F. What is your take on the balance between utility magic items versus unique flavor abilities, artifacts for characters? I don't know how to answer this question. What is your take on the balance between utility magic / magic items? Okay, so utility magic versus unique flavor abilities. Pete, I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean by this, because utility magic, there's going to be utility magic in the game, and there's going to be flavor abilities, artifacts. I don't know what you mean by artifacts for characters. Pete, I need you to do an at the dungeon coach and give me a clarification. I don't know what you're talking about, Pete. There's going to be flavor magic items. There's going to be flavor abilities. There's flavor features on all the classes. Level 3 subclasses get flavor features as well, right? And then when you're talking about magic items, there's going to be super weak magic items that are just flavor based. There's 0-point traits on some magic items that are 0 pointers. If you're familiar with the magic item system. So there you go. Oh, and then Damon, I meant subclass any class can take. There we go, Damon. I see you now in me getting caught up, right? And then Zachary, I still don't know what your question is, Zachary. I looked through all the super chats and I didn't see it unless I skipped it like a long time ago. Snackrifical duck. What? Snackrifical duck. That is an amazing name. I love maneuvers and techniques being separate, but the doc says they might be separated into classes. What's your thoughts? Yeah, I don't know if that will happen. Right now, I don't think so. If I had to try and think into the future on if there's going to be a maneuvers list that's like separated based on and like segregated in that way of like into different things, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think so. I don't think that's good for the game. I think it's just martial training and you just can do those things, right? I like the world building behind spell lists and all that kind of stuff and different. I think that's integral to spell casting. I don't think it is for martial, so I don't think they're going to be separated into that. But yeah, there we go. And then I'm getting caught up now. Charlie Wolf, love all your work. Glad to be here as a mod. Heck yeah, Charlie Wolf. You're part of the Wolf Pack, baby. We got Charlie Wolf, White Wolf. We had there was one point where we had like 5 different like wolf name type people here, and you're one of them, buddy. Let's go. Damon Evans, 4 L8 games, stepped HP, CM progression level 10. Ooh, 4 late game Stop HP CM progression at level 10. Oh, I think you're saying stop. So for late game, stop the progression as much as level 10. Yes, that's already something we can handle and control. I don't know about CM progression, combat mastery. I don't know about that. That might still scale slowly, right? I think that's probably still needed. But absolutely we can throttle amount of mana you get, the amount of HP you get, the amount of stamina. Like that's all going to be taken care of with the prestige system. So I agree there, Damon. And then Titus, when you get to build out the shifter class, please make an Eldritch Horror option class, something I can make a Venom-like character. Stoke Titus, abso-freaking-lutely, we're gonna have a Venom shapeshifter. Oh my gosh, yes, I already can guarantee, even if there's not a subclass, you'll be able to with the base class with flavor. You'll be able to. Amazing. And Onyx Studios, if DC20 ever gets a video game conversion, what kind of game would you want it to be, and or any features that you would love to see? DC20 game, man. Oh, that's crazy. I'd say MMO. You mean MMO? Because I'm an MMO nerd. But I would say it should be some sort of turn-based thing, kind of like what they did with Baldur's Gate. I think that would be what you do. That would be what you'd have to do. You'd have to either do a Final Fantasy type setup or a Baldur's Gate type setup, action points and all that kind of stuff. But if you did Final Fantasy, you'd have to have some sort of movement on the battlefield. There'd have to be almost like a grid with like spaces. There was a game I played a while back that had like a grid and you could like move around it, and there's like reticles and like that would be cool. I forget what game it is. Is it? Oh my gosh, it's like a grid, and there's like up and down zones, and you can move across the squares, and you're standing there. I think that would be cool. So almost like a Baldur's Gate meets Final Fantasy with like a square hex based combat, so you can spend action points to move around. So heck yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics, that might be it. Actually, that might be it. Interesting. So yeah, well done there. And Onyx, that's one of the things Onyx was talking about is making a video game. That's crazy. Also, everybody, ask your questions. Hashtag question. Ask it in the chat right now. Or sorry, say something in the chat. We're about to do the giveaway. We're in overtime already. It snuck up on me. Heck yeah. L300. What makes Liam? What makes a magic item an artifact in DC20? There are going to be certain items that have the artifact property. If you have I think it was DC20 Magazine Volume 2. In that magazine, it says unique magic item property. That in 0.10, that unique magic property is being changed to artifact instead of unique. So there will be artifact weapons with very unique properties. Some of them will be very powerful. Some of them will not be very powerful, but they'll be very special. An example is a sword that isn't some crazy mega powerful super damaged sword. It's just a sword, but when you stab it into the ground, it teleports you to the plane of angels. Like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? So that's an artifact tag that will have a tag on there, and then it's going to be unique and be called an artifact in that way, which interacts with things differently as well. Zagard, did I also get to try It Takes Two yet? Just played some more of my wife and Wing. Zagard, it's so funny you said that. I'm outside playing with my kids. Me and my 5-year-old are playing basketball. I'm dominating. I'm just kidding. He's actually getting pretty good. But we're shooting hoops, and my wife opens my mail packages for me, which she always does, and ruins random surprises that I get. And she's like, "What's this video game?" And I just came in like a few days ago, Zagard. So yes, I did buy it. We have not played it yet though. And then Aegis, coach, check around 9:25 Central Standard Your time for Zachary's question. 9:25. Oh no, Aegis. Wait, Aegis. If you found it, you should have just. I don't have timestamps. Mods, do you have my Zachary's? Zachary. I don't have timestamps. On my end of things, it doesn't show me timestamps. I'm sorry, Aegis. You should have super chatted his question if you found it. But that's so thoughtful of you, Aegis. And then Joyster Brian just super chatted $5. Thank you, Joyster. And then Vapor Light. I read a post DC20 subreddit that someone accused you of making a huge mistake on not thinking of core mechanics of levels 1 through... What? Accused you of making a huge mistake of not thinking of the core mechanics of levels 1 through 20. How do you defend? This was something that some members of my own team early on were like, oh no, we need to make levels 1 through 20. We need to make levels 1 through 20. We have to do the 1 through 20 so that we have the thing. And it's, in my opinion, the concept of a foundation. I think instead of trying to build a 20-story building, if we're building a 20-story building, I don't want to build it. I don't want to build that 20th floor early. Oh my gosh, I don't want to build that first 20th floor and have this like rickety thing that's like we're trying to balance or spend all this time going back and forth trying to get oh my gosh, right? I want to have a solid foundation and vet it and build it up. And it's going to take longer, but it's going to be a better building. It's going to have less accidents, it's going to have less collapses, and it's going to be stronger, I think. So then eventually we get to the top and we built level 20, and then we have this whole solid foundation, and we can still take a big step back, look at the whole game. If we need to change things at the bottom, we've already shown that as a team, we will make big changes to the game if it's what's best for the game. So that would be like, I would love to have a debate with somebody, whoever had a big disagreement or thinks a huge mistake of how I'm choosing to develop the game and why I'm going from 1 to 20, right? It's not like I'm going from 1 to 20 and then releasing the game. I'm going from 1 to 20 and then like cycling back through it, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to have a debate with that person, not from like a hostile like winning standpoint, but like I love those type of conversations of like game design theory, right? But there's also other types of things I've looked into from very, very good game designers that also would back up what I'm saying as well. But that's a longer discussion. So there you go. Love those questions, Vapor. You bring some good hot topic questions, buddy. Love it. Curly Bolt, hit the 3 dots at the top of the chat to turn on timestamps. Hit the 3 dots at the top of the chat to turn on timestamps. What? Live chat? Timestamps. What? Oh my God. What? Oh, but the chat's too far gone. I can't even see it anymore. I can't scroll that far back. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. I can't even scroll that far back now. Oh man, that's crazy. Thank you. I'm just going to keep that on now. Thank you, Curly Bolt. All right, cool. So we are doing the giveaway. And mods, can you find, is it Zachary? Man, I feel bad about this whole Zachary thing, man. I literally scrolled back through all the super chats. I did not see one. So it was probably a question, and it might be September 16th. What? I don't know if mods, if you can find Zachary's question, I'll answer it after the giveaway. But here we go. Right. We got a giveaway. Here it comes. Winner. Get a copy of DC20 and the Monster Starter Pack and all future updates to it. If you already had it, I'll send you an extra. I'll upgrade your package to another deal. And if you back Kickstarter, you get upgraded as well. Let's go. Erroneous 100 subscribes to this channel. Thank you, dude. Congrats, dude. Erroneous. Go to Discord. Message a moderator. Their names are in red, and we'll get you hooked up and set up. Let's go. Congrats, Aaron. I think I see a Zachary question from Zachary Garofalo. Is this the Zachary? Zachary Garofalo says, I teach math at high school. Let's go. That used to be me, baby. And I've been working on integrating TTRPGs to help engage students. What advice could you give me to help introduce DC20 as a system that would use? Now, high school. You did say high school. I would say concepts, things that I've used in TTRPGs in the classroom. Man, this is I could talk about this for a long time. I used concepts of leveling up and unlocking things. That's a huge thing that motivate high schoolers, even like all towards the high schoolers, all across the board. And then dice adding things, rolling dice, adding numbers. I like that even for high schoolers because it works on their mental math, which is something that them as adults are going to use all the dang time and then just say they're bad at math for. But if you can teach them tricks to add numbers quickly together, like 13 plus 7, you should instantly know that's 20. You know what I'm saying? So those types of things, I think dice and adding numbers is pretty good. Or adding 2 similarly low numbers, like 2 D10s. Those are great. Adding 2 D10s together, phenomenal. So anyway, there's my 2-second question on that. But there you go. Heck yeah. Let's go. That is the stream, people. thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, guys. So next week I'm going to be gone at Bardic Activations thing. I'll be back with an update, let you know how that went, and then I'll have a lot more updates with spells. And side little random note here for everyone who stayed around to the end of the stream. In 2 days, I have a meeting with Brennan Lee Mulligan. Isn't that crazy? I'm not freaking out. I'm genuinely not freaking out because this is my 4th time now talking with him about DC20 and stuff. But yeah, that's going to be crazy. And we have a talk in 2 days. So yeah, that'll be crazy. And yeah, so stay creative. Stay outside the box. Peace.